morning, friends. It's time for another tea time with Miss Johnson this week. Let's put the kettle on. This week's tea, we're having vanilla chai. Alright, first sip, here we go. Alright, so I wanted to tell you guys about an awesome book that I've been reading this week. It's called Marcello in the Real World by Francisco X. Stork. And this author has won the Schneider Family Book Award for Teens and the Once Upon a World Award, which is so cool, right? And he has also written a book called The Last Summer of the Death Warriors, so maybe you've also heard of that one. So Marcello in the Real World is a young adult novel, and it would fall under the genre of realistic fiction. It also has a character with special abilities and mental health needs. And I would recommend this book for 9th or 10th graders, so any of you guys I think would really enjoy this book. It's one that focuses on the main character, who is going to be a senior in high school. Alright, so I know what your next questions are going to be. What is this book about? So the book centers around the main character, and his name is Marcello, as you could probably gather from the title. And Marcello has some special needs that kind of set him apart from his peers. He has this internal music that really kind of speaks to him in a unique way. So Marcello's father has a lot of questions about his internal music and what that sounds like, and we're so lucky as the readers we get a little special inside look into what goes on in Marcello's head. And so the plot kind of begins when Marcello's father challenges him to work at his law firm for the summer. And Marcello is really unsure about working there, about having this experience with the real world. But then when he gets there, he meets a character named Jasmine, who is kind of his coworker in the mailroom where he works. And they form a really special friendship and bond throughout the whole story. Marcello also meets a character named Wendell, who helps at the firm as well and is one of his dad's co-workers. And Wendell brings Marcello a very unique perspective about the world and kind of opens a lot of doors that Marcello didn't know even existed in the world so far. So one day Marcello finds a picture in one of his dad's files of a girl, and her face is half almost destroyed due to a car accident involving a windshield. And Marcello is really taken aback by this photo. He really wants to help this girl but doesn't know how. He also doesn't even really know how the picture got there and why it ended up in the bin that it did. And so throughout the story, we see Marcello kind of come to this new understanding of the world and how he can fight injustice despite what others may think about him and that internal music, and what goes on inside of his head that people have a lot of doubts about. Marcello learns a lot in that summer through his relationship with Jasmine. It also takes place in Chicago, where he learns how to navigate trains, get to work on time, something that his father really challenged him to do. And we see Marcello grow into this really awesome character that we've come to know. And he learns so much about himself and his capabilities that go beyond what a lot of people see as his disabilities. Alright, so I'm going to read just a little excerpt from the book, and this is on page 165. And it's right after Marcello found the picture of the girl, and he's wondering what he can do about it. He's really feeling some things that he's never felt before. And he's discussing this with Jasmine. Jasmine pushes the soap away from her. She grabs her head with both hands. When she speaks, her tone of voice is different. It is a tone of voice one uses when it is not important to be logical. Why are you so interested in the girl? I notice that my hand is opening and closing automatically. I stop it from doing that. I felt something, I say. I felt something I have never felt before. It was like a fire, here and here. I touch the top of my stomach, where my rib cage ends, and then the middle of my chest. It was like I wanted to fight the people who hurt her, and then I realized that might include my father. It was confusing, and... Go on, tell me, I want to know. There was the girl herself, not anger, something else. Ah, I don't have a name for it. She's looking at the untouched soup. I feel I need to explain to Jasmine what I felt for the girl, but how can I when I don't know myself? It was like a question that had to be answered. So after reading this book, I thought I just had to recommend it to you guys. It was so awesome. And I think it brings light to an experience of someone who was maybe put at a disadvantage because of a lot of assumptions that people were making about them. And I think it really showed me that no matter what our abilities are, we have the power to make a difference in the world, no matter what other people think about us. If you end up reading the book, I would love to have a conversation with you about it and hear what your thoughts were. Also, if you want to borrow my copy, of course it will be in our classroom library for you all to grab. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.